Hi everyone. Today I want to show you guys how I made these cute little personalized letter mugs that I think would be great gifts for your friends, your neighbors, or even a teacher. The great thing about this project is that I got most of the materials from the dollar store. The first thing, of course, that you're gonna need is your mug. They're microwave safe and also dishwasher safe. Score! I also picked up from the dollar store these little poster letters. You're gonna need this to make the stencil of the letter that you're gonna put on your mug. And then you also will need some double-sided tape. And then if you decide you wanna gift them and wrap them up like I did over here, I just picked up some treat bags also from the dollar store. The one thing that I used for this project that wasn't from the dollar store are oil-based paint pens. It's really important that they're oil-based paint pens because if you use any other kind of marker like permanent markers, the permanent markers will wash off. But if you use the oil-based paint pens, they won't wash off as long as you set them. And I'll let you know how to set them at the very end of this video. But I got these ones from Amazon by Castle Art Supplies. I can put the link down below in the description. And these are good for a lot of different kinds of surfaces. And in this case, we're doing ceramic. So let's get started. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your mug, and then you're also gonna choose the letter that you wanna stencil onto your mug. You're also gonna need your double-sided tape so that you could attach the letter to your mug. And then you're just gonna try as best as you can to center it. The next thing you're gonna wanna do is just choose the two colors that you want to use to outline the letter on your mug. So for this mug, I'm gonna use green and blue, and I'm gonna use green as my base color. And all you have to do is start making dots all around your letter. And when you start the first part of it, you really just wanna go everywhere that it naturally feels. And you want the dots to be compact. So they don't look like perfect dots, but it's okay because this is just the first layer and you're gonna go over it with another color. So you just wanna make dots all around. And you also wanna decide too how thick you want this first layer of dots to be, because this first layer of dots are generally very compact with each other, and they start the ombre effect that you're going to have where it looks like there's a lot of dots that form the letter, and then the dots kind of spread out. So you're gonna have to decide how thick you want this first set of dots to be. But I don't wanna make it too wide, only because my cup is kind of small, and once I go around to the top here, you're gonna notice that if I keep the same width of dots, I don't really have too much space. If you ever feel like, you smear like accidentally like that, the great thing about these oil-based paint pens is they really are just like paint. So you can just stamp right over it and cover up your mess. So the next thing I'm gonna do is just do the same thing, but I just wanna make sure my dots are a little bit further apart. So I'm still going to be dotting all around, and I'm just going to space them out a little bit further apart than this first set of dots. And you can touch the first set if you feel like that's where your hand naturally wants to go. That's totally okay, because you want it to look natural anyways. So now that I've completed that second set of dots that are a little bit further apart, now I'm gonna do my last set of dots by making them even more further apart. And then I usually like to just do a few outliers, just some random ones, like a few, 2 or 3, all the way out. And that right there completes my first layer of color. I usually give it a minute or two to set before I add in the next layer. Okay, so now I'm ready to add my second color. So in this case, I'm gonna do blue, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing that I did before, just to fill in the space all around the letter. And put additional dots out a little bit further, and make sure that the dots are a little bit further spaced apart than that first set that I did, and just dab all around. Now I'm going to do my third set, and I'm just going to do it out here, further out than I did before. The way I like to think about it is they kind of look like Skittles when you just kind of drop them onto a surface and then they spread out everywhere. That's kind of what they look like. And then I noticed that I actually forgot to do the middle of this letter R. And in reality, I would have done that first because you risk getting the ink that you just put on your palm if you do the middle part last. So really I should have done that first, but I forgot. So I'm gonna go back and try my best to fill that middle part of the letter R in. So the next thing I'm going to do is just peel off my letter stencil. I'm going to peel it off. There it is, right there. So I was being a little bit impatient and I peeled it off before it was fully dry. So you see I smeared a little bit there. Just kind of lick the tip of my nail and scratch that off. And then I see a little bit of smear here. I'm going to do the same thing. Just scratch it right off. And there you have it. You just finished making your personalized letter mug. That's what it's supposed to look like when it's done. So now that you've completed the coloring and letter portion of your mug, the very last step that you have to do, this is a very important step if you want to be able to use your mug and wash your mug without the paint coming off, is you have to set the paint by baking it. So what I would do is I would turn my oven on to 300 degrees Fahrenheit, set my mugs on top of a baking tray, and put the mugs in the oven as it's preheating to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Keep it in there for an hour. After an hour, turn it off and just leave the mugs in there to cool. After that, you're free to use your mugs, wash your mugs by hand, and then wrap them up and gift them to anybody that you made them for. Again, they'd be great gifts for your friends, they'd be great gifts for teachers, for neighbors, and even family members. So thank you for watching. Let me know if you tried it out.